She kicked the sign, and then literally the spirit had her stop, and then she almost tripped right there. Then she looked at the brother and said, "Who you think you are? You ain't Jesus." Well, I never said I was Yahweh.
I don't want to be Jesus.
Right.
I don't want to be Caesar, but she's talking about
She's talking about the other white meat.
Right.
Yeah.
The other Jesus.
Right. That's the spirit, bro. Call all y'all Bashim. The Lord just protected us, man. That was a hedge. I don't know if you brothers might have saw in the reflection. We saw it live and in living color.
That was a demon.
That was a fucking demon.
Hell yeah.
You read that from the top of this.
Sure. I'm gonna start at verse 10 again. Isaiah 11 and verse 10. And one. I'm gonna go from 1:10 to 11. Verse 1. And there shall come forth of a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots.
So this is Yahushua in the Old Testament. Man. This is the Old too. You going to the Bible Hub?
Oh yeah, I wanted to see.
Okay. So this is Old Testament, man. So Yahushua is all over the Old Testament.
Right.
You know, I believe in Exodus it tells you one of thy brethren shall be raised up.
Yeah.
You know?
And I'll send an angel who will pardon sins. What angel pardons sins? We know that angels bring prayers.
Right.
We know angels can heal, but what angel pardons sins?
Right.
The same one that made himself a little lower than the angels, and it behooved him to be of the seed of Abraham. That's Yahweh Shai.
Made like unto his brethren, the captain of our salvation. You know, not fucking Captain, you know,
Captain Crunch.
Captain Malachi, High Priest, you know.
Chief Captain General.
Hey, can I read the NLT, Baba Kasha?
No.
This is Isaiah 11 is the prophecy why it said that he would be called a Nazarene, because the word Nazarene goes to in the Hebrew, it's like Nazareth, and basically it's the Hebrew word for branch. So when they said that he was a Nazarite fulfilling prophecy, that could be a trick. That's a trick question, because you got to go into the Hebrew. All right. So you need to know. You need to go into the Hebrew. This is fulfilling it. Isaiah 11 was fulfilled in Matthew's, where he should be called a Nazarene from that branch. But this is the NLT. It says, out of the stump. Oh, what do they call it? A family tree. And where does a tree come from? A seed. Yep. I see men as trees walking. See, we didn't know we was going to go into this in the spirit.
Right. But
this needs to be brought out. The Most High's thought are not ours. So clearly there's someone out here that needs to hear this. You need to know that, because remember the one Jake, the brother came. He said virgin. Like, no. You know? It says, out of the stump of David's family will grow a shoot. Yes, a new branch bearing fruit from the old root. Boom. That's Yahweh Shai. And that's what? Jeremiah 11 for Romans 11, the wild olive branch. You see? You got it.
Back in Isaiah 11 and verse 10, and in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people.
And you know what?
What's that word ensign?
I'll get it. And you know what proves what proves your family lineage is very important? Because Esau pushes, all different types of ethnicities. Yep. You're 30% this, 8% that. That's a fucking lie. That's you know what? If you think about that, that's sick. So men's sperm, it just mixes together and create. That's sick.
How can I find my origin of my fathers, my forefathers? It's confusion.
Right.
And it says, which shall stand for an ensign of the people, to which shall the Gentiles seek.
This is the definition of ensign. It says something lifted up, which goes into what? John 3. You want to grab that, Baba Kasha? Because it goes back into that Yahushua being lifted up, just as that serpent was lifted up. For what? For healing. Because when the children of Israel got bit by those fiery serpents, the Lord told Moses to make a serpent so that they could then look upon that serpent to be healed. Okay. The reason why Yahushua got lifted up is so that we can be healed.
Right.
Okay. He says he shall save his people from their sins.
Right.
We find it, brother.
Keep going. And it says, to it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time.
Hey, this is pleasing to the Lord that we're going into the lineage of Yahushua with truth and not lying, man. Like you're lying. We're not lying. This is beautiful, man. This is respect. This is a righteous work we're doing. We're opening up this predestinated book by holy men inspired by the Holy Spirit, all right, that published it, and we're reading the truth that they wrote. No lies, no gimmicks, no, we say real games, no gimmicks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Fuck, man. Ain't there enough lies out here?
Straight raw, no chasing.
There you go,
Right.
brother.
No chasing.
That's right. Shit.
And it says
Bro.
that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people.
Let me read this real quick and then go back to it.
He-
It says ensign. I want to make a point on that ensign.
Yep.
You know?
John 3:14, and it reads, and as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up.
Right, for him, man. All right, to be put on that position, right, so that all Israel can look up to you. Okay, because if you're lifted up, you're being looked up to. Man. So Yahweh Shah was that great example of what a man should be in righteousness, a righteous man of Yahweh. You know, he then showed his men those examples, who then went and taught and showed other men those, and it just kept going. You know, it took over. It took over the whole known world as what Esau calls the Middle Ages, man. All right, so-called Christianity. That was started by Jakes. Constantine was a Jake, man. You know,
That's why you had Constantinople, which is now Turkey, right? Istanbul.
Yep.
It says that whosoever believeth in him,
There you go.
it says whosoever,
Yep.
right?
Right.
But you got to know who the whosoever is talking about.
You got to know who the people we came to save from the sins are.
Right, because
Because that within that realm, whosoever of those people that I came to save from their sins, that's the whosoever.
exactly, whether or not they may be doing as a Greek or as a Roman, you need to know that these whosoever that look like other nations, their lineage and spirit goes back to being an Israelite.
Right.
So Yahweh Shai can't save other nations.
Why didn't the Lord go to Herod? You know?
Right, right. And it says that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have eternal life.
That's it. That's
Back in Isaiah 11 and verse 11, and it says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people.
You
it.
know?
Yeah, because it's happened all throughout history, man. Read the book of Judges. Jacob in and out of jail, and Jake do that today. In and out of jail, in and out of jail. Well, that's us. In and out of captivity, man. Captivity under the Moabites, okay? Captivity under the Ammonites, all right? The Edomites, the Ishmaelites. Everywhere we go, the nations enslaved us, man. You know?
And it says to recover the remnant of his people.
And being in their enslavement led to us being with their women to having the children with
Right.
these strangers.
Led us to mix in the holy seed.
Right. But that doesn't mean once that child's born, now if it was a boy, don't mean he don't got the holy seed no more.
Right.
You know?
And it says, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from...
And everywhere they name, don't you know in the book of Acts, when you look up those languages, that's what they go back to. You see? Read that again, Bob. Let's get that. Bob.
Isaiah 11 and verse 11, and it says,
Let's get a couple.
it says from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush.
So in each one of these lands, you had a synagogue of Jews, if you will. It tells you that in the book of Acts. I believe there was a synagogue of Jews, and I forget which actually where it's at, but it's Acts 14.
Yeah, it's something like that. I think like Acts 16, around that area. And it says,
And why? Because Jake got that zeal. So even in the midst of other nations, he's got that spiritual zeal. You know, but it might not be according to knowledge. But he's got that spirit of reverence of a higher power. His higher power.
Yep. His God.
Yep. And that's why Esau's taking your God away. That the Lord has raised up the apostles' lads to reintroduce you to your God through the mediator Yahweh Shai.
Right.
Yahweh Shai is that bridge. Like in Ragnarok, you have that bridge, and that Jake, it's the Jake that's the seer. You know, the cool one. Yeah, he looks cool as shit. He's the angel, and he's the guardian that watches over the earth, that keeps that bridge safe for you to come back to Ragnarok, man.
Yeah.
So Yahweh Shai is our bridge, our mediator back.
right.
You know?
He reconciled us, man. We have been reconciled with the Father.
Yeah. Because we are aliens to our commonwealth. We are no longer aliens. We're no longer strangers. You know?
And it says, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamad,
Oh,
and from,
Shinar. Okay, that's where Tower of Babel started, man. Okay, going all the way back to Nimrod, which the cradle of civilization is not Africa, man. You know, people Jakes always like to say, "Oh, we come from Africa." We don't come from Africa. More so Mesopotamia, more so Iraq.
Yep.
Iran, that landmass. Then from there, the Lord scattered the nations, separated the languages, and kicked their ass out. Right?
And if I'm not mistaken, the word Iraq is Hebrew for order. So the Lord set up order in the civilization, if you will, and right smack dab in Iraq. And the Lord started civilization, and he's going to end it there too, if you will, because that's the valley. Saudi Arabia is right up in there, all that. Strait of Hormuz, Israel's right up in there, all that, man.
Yeah.
All that. And you know, it's funny where Esau, you know, it's funny, Amalek is south of Israel, but now he's in Israel.
Right.
But technically, he could be south of it. Amalek and Edom,
Yeah,
they're
they've
right.
always been south of it.
Yeah. So I mean, him being over there is no strange thing.
Right.
You know, it really isn't. You know.
But then their land got took over by Ishmael.
Right.
You know, but then they went back.
Right.
This time.
Right. And then Ishmael said, "Wait a minute, I'm the Philistines.
Yep.
I need the Gaza Strip. Hold on, we defeated Canaanites
Right.
and kings to get that, doc.
Yeah.
You not a Hamite, bro.
Right.
You Shem, you an Ishmaelite.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, you got blessed with 12 sons.
Yashamayala, he knows of the power.
Right.
You know?
Right. So when in the kingdom, Ishmael's gonna know that our forefather popped his mother, Hagar. Hagar is the mother of Ishmael, but Abraham is the father of Ishmael, and our great grandfather popped your mother.
Hagar.
So chill out, Nick.
Right.
So chill out, man. You know what I mean? That's us, baby. You know, we didn't love him, man. You know what I'm saying? Yahushai fathered the earth. Abraham fathered the earth. You know, Jacob. It's fire, man. We have a beautiful lineage.
Well, he's only the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know, that's what we push it. You know? Which Jacob's name was changed into Israel, who then had 12 sons, the 12 patriarchs.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
So we just out here for the lost sheep.
That's it.
That's all.
That's it.
We just want the lost sheep.
That's it, bro.
We don't care how they look.
Nope.
And it says, and from the islands of the sea, and he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and
meaning
shall.
the Lord's going to be lifted up.
Mhm.
Okay, you look upon that serpent. Okay, which the serpent represents wisdom, and be healed, which Yahushua is the ultimate physician.
And it says, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel.
Right, because they got outcast by who? The scribes, the Pharisees, man. Okay, even the blind man Yahushua healed, they expelled him from the synagogue, meaning they kicked him out. So where did they go? They began to form different cities and civilizations in Egypt, in Syria, in Asia Minor. You see?
And that's why when they came back to Jerusalem, they were with the apostles.
Yep.
Because they couldn't go amongst the Pharisees or Sadducees.
Yep.
And it said refugee, right? Or sorry, it said outcast, right?
Outcast, yeah.
Guess what? A synonym for outcast is refugee. And is not the Lord our refuge?
That's right.
So we are those outcasts coming back, you know?
And it says,
Because we're the devout men now.
Well, you have a group called outcast.
Exactly.
Right.
Andre and
Yeah. And what did he say? Bombs over Baghdad.
right.
You know? Bombs over Babylon. You know? That's us, man. We're the outcasts. We're the devout Jews from all the nations, man.
Yep.
We're them now. And where we go to our apostles. All right? And they speak to us, man, in spirit. What's then led to us in the spirit to speak to other men. It's a spiritual give and go. You know, like I was meditating on it. Everything now through the spirit is word of mouth. The lessons are word of mouth. You may see something, but ultimately it's word of mouth while you're believing it. So we're walking examples of a taste of the new covenant to come.
Which word of mouth is the fastest way to spread information.
Right.
Which is why the gospel spreads so fast, man.
Right.
So I looked up this word outcast. It means to push, to thrust, to chase, to overflow, to drive away, or to drive out.
Wow.
To push violently, to be thrust down, to be cast down. And that's what happened to the whole nation, man. You know, over 1 million Jews fled into Africa. What you think they did in Africa? They got with the women. They formed civilizations. You know.
Yeah, I mean, look at some of them Hamite women. They look beautiful.
Yo, the Ethiopian one.
Yeah, Ethiopia, they look good. What's the fuck big deal? You know?
Right.
Damn. And that's what I said, we're alien to our commonwealth. I wanted to pull that up.
Yeah.
You know?
Back in Isaiah 11 and verse 12 to finish it off, and it says, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth.
Woo!
Oh, Lord. It ain't for everybody, man. It ain't for everybody.
No.
The Lord don't want everybody.
Nope. The Tower of Babel, brother.
Yep.
He saw them having one language, One nation, under God, indivisible.
Genesis
11, and then
11.
he fucking bow. You know?
Bit smack.
Can I read the Ephesians really quick? It's just one verse. It's Ephesians 2 and 12, starting at 11 actually. It says, wherefore, remember that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called the circumcision in the flesh made by hand. So through our works, we became Gentiles in the flesh. This is why Esau, through the Greeks, forced you to eat pork.
Force you to
Sacrifice.
uncircumcise yourself, man. So that means a man is circumcised, Israelite man, on the 8th day, right? So you growing up, you know, you don't got to worry about that, you know. But what they did was they put that flesh back on them to blend in with the Greeks, man. You know.
You know what proved that our circumcision meant we were the chosen nation per se to not being circumcised? Because Simeon and Levi had to get the Hamites circumcised. So other nations, because the circumcision was the covenant, no other nation knew, oh shit, you got to cut that off on the male. So none of them were doing that. And what's Ham do? What you stupid fucking 42 Mayat niggas do? You cut the clitoris off of the African women. You sickos! You sick bastards!
Why would you want to do that, man?
You fucking sick, man.
So the woman, she's got no pleasure.
Right.
What the fuck?
It's an empty ass.
That's sick. So that shows you right there that back then, the only ones that had circumcision was God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So even Esau, you know, you don't know.
Yeah, Ham is fucking dumb, man. Why would you want to be a Hamite anyway?
Yeah.
They were the first most, you know, Sodom and Gomorrah Hamites, man. You know?
Damn.
They circumcised their woman, they fucking let cow piss in their hair.
Yep.
You know?
They washing it. You know, they got them nasty bellies. You see them bellies? Those just look nasty.
Fly.
Yeah, flies and shit.
Fly face.
Yeah, they're the Lord of the Flies, man.
Yeah.
They're like that nigga from Mortal Kombat with all the flies on them.
Oh, meat, man.
Yeah, that's fucking Ham.
Oh, man.
You know?
Man, well, he needs a cow.
Hey, and Ham's gay too. Remember, he
That's
looked
what
at
I'm
Noah.
saying. Yeah.
He looked at Noah. So he cursed his ass. It says, Ephesians 2 and 12, that at that time ye were without Hamashiach, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel. So we were aliens of our commonwealth. You're not African American. You're an Israelite.
Right, that commonwealth is your heritage, man. All right, having a relationship with your God. Okay, which gave us an advantage over other nations. That's why Romans would say, what advantage then had the Jews?
That's right.
You see?
And strangers from the covenants of promise, having no hope and without the Most High in the world. Is that not us?
That's us.
That was us. You were reading the condition of the Israelite foreigner had to deal with without knowing what was what.
That was us before we came into the truth on this side too, man. You know, just out there in college, in the world, you know, in the gangs, in jail, out of jail, hopeless, man.
He said, I'm hopeless. I live a third life.
Yeah.
But he was an actor. But that spirit was really on Jake. They're wild bulls. He said, man, well, God loved me, man. Oh, he loved me. Remember? I want to fucking be loved too. You see? Because that's Israel. That's the story. This is the mindset that an Israelite was going through when the Greeks fucking came in. When the Romans was ruling. When our temple was besieged. When fucking wicked scribes, priests, Pharisees was kicking us out. And we like, yo, I believe. Nah, where your fringes? Where your fringes? What the fuck? Where my fringes?
Now you speak Greek. You're not a Hebrew.
Right.
You speak Latin.
And now the Pharisees say, I cringe when they speak Hebrew.
Right.
What? First you cringe if we didn't speak it. Now you cringe if we do? What more do you want from me?
Damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Damn, that's why Yahushua said you shut up the gates, man. And then King David, righteous King David said, I'd rather hold the door open for you. But you got Jake like this, you know? You got Jake like this trying to stop you from coming in, you know? That's terrible, man. But that's what the wicked Pharisees and Sadducees did to their own people through curses.
You were that Genesis, right? Genesis 10 and verse 8. And Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth.
Oh, Nimi?
Yeah.
Nimster.
The Nimster.
And it says,
Which he was an Ethiopian, right? Because Cush, nowadays they'd be called Ethiopians,
Right.
but they're Hamites.
Right.
But they wasn't dwelling in Africa, they were dwelling in the Middle East, so you can understand.
They didn't have the land of Cush yet.
They didn't have it.
They didn't have Canaan yet. They didn't have fucking AI yet. You know?
and it says, verse 9, he was a mighty hunter before the Lord.
Right, meaning a mighty hunter. Now you would look up some information and they would say, well, he was good at, hunting bears. He had Esau's sword. When you go into the book of Jasher, it tells you that I believe Esau had Nimrod's garment.
He killed him.
Some bugged out shit like that. But Abraham wasn't even on the scene yet, man. All right, we're dealing with Terah. First they went to Terah, and the next chapter is going to talk about Terah. Then Abraham, then Isaac, then Jacob and Esau.
He wasn't even Abraham yet. He was Abram.
Right, he wasn't right.
He wasn't even. He didn't have Hagar yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Ishmael wasn't around yet.
He wasn't in there.
So Ishmael wasn't even around yet. Ishmael wasn't around yet. Moab, Ammon, Esau, or Jacob, man. All right.
That proves that book is farce. It's a cunning craftiness. They lie in wait to deceive. And if you got caught up in that, that's the Lord is not dealing with you, man.
Well, that's why it says don't deal with those books, man.
Yep.
Don't deal with the book of Jasher, the book of Enoch. You shouldn't deal with them.
Yep.
And it said, verse 9, it says, he was a mighty hunter before the Lord, wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord.
Pretty much meaning what? The Lord set him up, man, because the Lord ruleth in the kingdom of men and giveth it to whomsoever he will. So during this time, the Lord gave the earth to Nimrod, the Cushite.
Verse 10.
And don't they say today when someone's stupid, Nimrod?
Yeah.
I grew up thinking Nimrod was a dummy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't know it was a biblical character.
Keep going.
Well, he is a dummy.
He is a dummy, though.
Verse 10, in the beginning of his kingdom was Babal, and Erech, and Akkad, and Calneh, in the land of Shinar.
Now, Babel is where you get Babylon from, which Babel means confusion. Okay, but go to 11 now.
And it says Shinar, just like Isaiah 11, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
That's the link.
That's the link. That's the hook.
That's the hook.
Genesis
Hey,
11.
brother, you from Shinar?
Right.
You got a moment? You got a moment I can
I
talk
say
to you?
Shinar, not Chirac.
Oh, that's funny.
Genesis 11 and verse 1. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech.
Right? What language? It had to be Hebrew. Right?
And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar.
So they came from the east, all right, and they went into Shinar, okay?
And they dwelt there. And they said one to another.
Who's the they? This is the sons of Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Because you got to remember, Abram wasn't even Abraham yet, man. Okay? Ishmael wasn't on the scene yet. Moab, Ammon, Esau, Jacob. Okay?
Well, Shem just had his sons.
Right.
Elam, Elphaxad, you know what I mean? They were just being born. So they was just establishing themselves.
Yep. So it was these nations, man.
Yep.
These are the nations.
Shemites, Hamites, and Japhites.
Yep.
Verse 3, and it says, and they said one to another, go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar.
Yep.
And they said,
Same
go.
thing they did in Egypt, or they made Jake do in Egypt. Yep.
And they said, go to, let us build us a city in the tower.
Right, now why did they want to build this city in the tower, man? Okay, because these other nations, you got to remember, this is right after the flood, right? So they were passing down stories of a flood. Okay, so what Nimrod did, him and his counselors, they got together and they said, how can we combat that? Well, we're going to build a tower in case the Lord flood the earth again. Yeah. Which was dumb, because the Lord already gave them a rainbow in case he did flood the earth again.
Right.
And he told them he wasn't going to do it anyway.
Right. Oh, even like you were saying last night, Moab and Ammon ain't even on the scene yet.
Right. Right. Because who did they come from? Lot. Who was Lot? Abraham's nephew.
Yep.
And it says, let us build us a city in a tower whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we...
That's why they wanted the top to reach unto heaven too, in case of another flood, man. But really it was a one world government, which is where Esau gets it from.
Right.
But the Lord wasn't with the one world government. He's not with one nation under God individually You know that shit.
Right,
That whole shit.
Fucking spell.
That
That's what it
spell.
is. You know that's that. You got some
What you want?
Maccabees.
The All Nation. Yeah.
That goes right with it.
I got it right now. This is First Maccabees 1 and 40, or 1 and 41, I believe. First Maccabees 1 and 41. Yep. It says, moreover, King Antiochus, King Biden,
Mr. Joey.
Mr. Joey, Mr. Joey Badass Biden. We did it, Joey.
We did it, Joe.
We did, yeah.
Nah, stink.
Stank ass. She's getting popped by Montel and Howard Stern. You know?
25 years ago.
Right.
Damn.
And he had two of them. He didn't even have just her.
Right.
Montel's out there, you know, returning to Mac and shit. She's just been getting tapped along, man.
Right. Pass
You know?
it on.
Yeah, passed the Dutchie on her ass. 1 and 41 wrote unto his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
Right, so he's wanting to go back to what they did in the Tower of Babel.
Exactly.
He wants to have a one world government. That's what all of this is about, man. Okay, this whole juicy juice, this is paving the way for the Charagma, so they can introduce a one world government.
Yep.
A one world currency.
Yep.
A one world military.
Yep. And it reads, here's another point. It says, and what do they got to do? And everyone should leave his laws.
Yep.
So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath.
So that's another way they became Israelites, man. They just straight up consented.
Yep.
You know, they got down, which you got Jake doing that now.
Ephesians 2, Gentiles in the flesh.
Right.
That's what he was saying. The things you did in the flesh made you of a Gentile.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You made yourself unclean. Unholy.
Profane.
Profane. Yeah, you made yourself outside the temple.
Like I was thinking about the last week that Jake that came up, who was my man's friend with the face tats.
Yep.
Imagine bringing him to the temple.
Oh, they'd lose it.
Stone him.
man.
Yep.
They're like, this is a Gentile.
Yep.
man, you know?
Yep.
But that's actually an Israelite though.
Yep.
That's how the Gentiles look.
And he had some knowledge too. He knew what he was talking about.
Yeah.
He was agreeing, you know?
They were tatted up. You gotta imagine. They had the bald heads, speaking different languages, you know?
Yep.
Back in Genesis 11 and verse 4, and it says, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the
Let
city.
us make a name.
Right.
One name under heaven.
Yep.
You know? Make all the people one. And that's either you got the bite or you don't. Either you got the mark or you don't. You know? He wants to change you from a name to a number. But it's going to be a sequence of numbers under him. Remember, here is the number of a man, the number of the beast. You got 666 billion, got the flesh wound, right? And then there's another 666 that just happened. Something else was 666. Oh, 6 days, 6 minutes, 6 weeks.
Yeah, Mr. Joey.
Yep, he did that. And then there was something else I saw. Oh, call Lo Yahbashim Shai. And on 10/30/2021, it will literally be 666 months that the Satanic Church was created. Because it started in April 30th, 1966. So in October 30th, 2021 would equal 666 months. The nigga's a demon, man. He's a demon.
So it's gonna be a very wicked Halloween.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Even leading up to
Bro, this nigga's got ghost pizzas. It's a pizza shaped as a ghost. And then you dumbass people, I'm gonna go buy it. Well, don't call me when that ghost calls you.
Right.
You know, who you gonna call?
Right.
Don't call this Ghostbuster, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm home being holy.
it. Right. You are what you eat.
You are what you eat.
You know, so you're putting the spirit on you.
Put the spirit on you.
Right.
Dovik.
In your stomach.
Dumbass Dovik. Right? Is it Dovik?
Evil possession.
Yeah.
And it says, and the Lord came down to see the city and the tower, which the children of men built it.
Right, so Nimrod, man, he was set up to be, you know, like a great orator, someone that people followed, someone people looked up to. He inspired the people. Well, what he inspired them to do was very evil, according to the Most High, just like Esau. Man.
Yeah, so Satan put the same spirit on Nimrod he did Esau, meaning that New World Order spirit.
The adversary spirit.
Yep, against the Most High, because who was the Lord protecting out of them ultimately? The lineage of Shem.
Verse 6, and it says, And the Lord said,
How
behold,
how many heathens do you think died building that tower? A lot.
a whole lot of
21/7. How many people died? A lot.
How many languages?
A lot.
How many people got scattered?
A lot. Yeah, man. The Lord, funny, bro. You know, you gotta envision it, man. Like our elders say.
I know.
You know?
Right, imagine.
Because I was just thinking as that siren went, somebody probably just fell from a fucking 9-story building.
Or somebody just probably just killed over.
Yep.
Yeah.
Juice.
Yep.
Oh,
That's what they showed you in Bird Box. They was just driving, and then that was it.
yep.
Which car accidents, I'm glad you said that because car accidents have been increasing very rapid. Every time I go somewhere, it's a fucking accident.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all noticed that. But every time I go somewhere, it's a car accident.
Well, guess what? Ray in Rochester last night, someone was driving, and they purposely rammed their car into a cop's car.
Oh,
They fucked the
shit.
cop up. He had to go to the hospital. Another Rain on foot. And the other one, they had to check for drug treatment. And he was like, fuck this. God. They had a spirit on him, bro. He had a spirit on him.
I believe I sent the video to the chat, and it was a guy asking, do you notice any changes in people
Yes.
that got the bike?
Yes.
So I was reading the comments, right, and the main change that people noted was aggression.
Wow. Wow.
So people are angry.
The love of many, waxing cold. Because of that pesty.
It's going to be a long, cold winter.
Yep.
Hey, we ready for it.
Yeah, we ready. We look in winter in its eye.
Yep.
You know?
Telling that the Lord's with us.
That's right.
Damn near here already, too.
Yeah.
Well, we got on the full armor.
Yep.
You people don't.
Well, the Van drove by and said full armor of God.
That's right.
And that was for us to see. You know? So the Lord is speaking, man. And we need to continue to embrace the conversations that we're having with our power through the Son, through the Spirit.
Verse 6. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they began to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do.
Right, so the Lord had to break that shit up, man. All right, because he would have left them alone. They would build their tower. They would accomplish their one order. You know, so the Lord's not with everybody coming together, man. The Lord is with separation. All right, you over here, you over there, and you over here. Okay, you give me that. I believe it's Deuteronomy 32. Oh, so.
Keep going. Verse.
Let me Yeah, man, it says, ask thy fathers and they shall tell you. Yeah, you know, yeah.
This is Deuteronomy 32:8. It says, 7. It says, remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will shew thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee.
Right, the things that are written in time were written for our learning. All of it, man. Everything that's in this book was written for our learning. So they tried to do a one world order. It didn't work, though. You know,
They're going to try to do it again in the fullness of his sufficiencies. He should be in straight. And you got to think, under Nimrod, they were probably idolizing that tower.
Yeah, they were.
You know, that was their church. That was their temple. You know, that was their savior.
Yep.
Well, God comes. It's like, I'm not going to do it with flood anymore, you know?
This the tower we gonna go.
Yep.
Well, we got a tower too.
Yep.
It's the name of Yahweh.
Yep.
You know.
It says, Deuteronomy 32:8, when the Most High divided the nations, their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam